Anwar al-Awlaki is a U.S. citizen. He was born in New Mexico. He was in Yemen. He is ethnically from Yemen, and he got a drone on top of his head earlier today, and he's dead. There was 4 other people with him. They are, of course, now described as al-Qaeda operatives. They are also dead. By the way, there was a second American citizen with him, Samir Khan, U.S. citizen of Pakistani heritage, who also apparently produced an al-Qaeda web magazine. You know, I always say, like, how do these guys produce all these, like, web magazines and we don't catch them? Turns out we do catch them, and we put a drone on, bomb on top of their head, and they're gone. Okay, so I have very mixed feelings about this story. My conservative side says, okay, he had it coming. Okay, now if people who have encouraged attacks against us are worried that when they see a drone that's the last thing they see, I kind of see that as a good thing. Okay, now of course the critical question is, did they actually plan the attacks against us? And that's where we run into some trouble. One other good thing about this, look, I said this from day one. I said it when Bush was doing it, and then when Obama picked up the pace. Special forces operations and drone strikes are much more efficient than wide-scale wars. You might not like the drone strikes, okay? But would you rather have invaded Yemen? No way. No way. These are much more efficient, much better way to go than a whole war, okay? Now, that's the upside. The downside is he was an American citizen. We did not try him. Are we positive that he was the right guy? Well, as you read into the story, you're going to see that we're not quite positive. He was put on a kill or capture list by the CIA, and when they go to describe him in the New York Times and other publications, and everything else I've seen before he got killed, they always say suspected, believed to be involved in plots. For example, he knew, apparently, according to different sources, 2 or 3 of the hijackers that did 9/11. And he was in San Diego in a mosque there where he was preaching to some of them. But the FBI had already detained him back when he was in the United States to ask him about that, and they cleared him of those charges. So they cleared him. He was not involved in 9/11, okay? So then you turn to other things. Apparently, he exchanged emails with Major Nidal Malik Hassan, the guy who shot the 13 and killed 13 people at Fort Hood. Now, if he plotted that and we eventually brought him to justice, I'm ecstatic that we brought him to justice. But the thing is, as all the reports say, well, he didn't quite plot with them. They emailed back and forth, Hassan does what he does, and then later, Awlaki calls him a hero at some point. But wait, that doesn't mean they planned it. In fact, it appears that we have no evidence that he planned it. So a little questionable. Then you move on to the Pakistani-American man that was trying to do the Times Square bombing. You remember that? Now, the bomb didn't go off, thank God. So did he plan that? Was he an active participant in that? Well, again, not quite. They say that that gentleman was inspired by Awlaki. Do we kill people for inspiring folks to do the wrong things? I don't want them to do that, but do we kill them for it, especially if they're U.S. citizens? Okay, how about Umar Farouk Abdul Muttalib? That's the Christmas plane bomber. And again, there the evidence is that he was, quote, a student of Awlaki. But wait a minute, what does that mean? What is that a student of? Did he say, hey, strap the thing onto your underwear, go onto the bomb, here's how you go onto the plane, this is where you find the bomb? If he was an active participant, great, we should indict him. And by the way, if you indict him, as we did with Osama bin Laden, you're on much better grounds. But do you know with Awlaki that our government refused to indict him? They didn't want to bring any evidence forward against him. So in the end, when you add all these things up, what you have is a U.S. citizen who we believe was kind of involved maybe in inspiring some plots, and we decided to execute him. And we did. I am not comforted by that. Not because Awlaki was a good guy, obviously he wasn't. At the very least, he was encouraging all these attacks against us, right? So it's nobody sheds a tear for Awlaki. But think about the precedent that we set. So now, the next time a president, whether it's a Democratic president or a Republican president, you know, Rick Perry could win the presidency if he's in charge and he says, well, you know what? I didn't indict anybody either. Just like Barack Obama, I didn't present any evidence in court. I made up a list of U.S. citizens living abroad that I thought should be executed, and I went about the business of executing all of them. Are you comfortable with that? I'm not comfortable with that. So when you look at it in its totality, although it does have clear upsides, in the end, I think this is a dangerous, dangerous precedent. And this is not how the United States of America should be conducting itself.